Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point. And today we are here for part 4 of my R. Kelly series that I am doing. And this episode is focusing on super fans, Valencia Love, GoFundMe pages, the Play R Play R. Kelly social page that has started on Facebook, and just talking about people who support R. Kelly and how they're being treated. So before we get started, we have to do a quick little recap of those people that have been in a coma for the past week. R. Kelly was indicted on 10 charges, and he turned himself in on Friday. He bonded out $100,000 bond. Well, his bond was set at $1,000,000, but he only had to pay $100,000, and so he bonded out on Monday afternoon. And the stories just continue to roll out. But this episode is actually going to be talking about the person who bonded him out. But before we get to her, let's get to some other things. So when the judge announced that R. Kelly's bond would be $1,000,000, $250,000 on for each victim, and then the victims, some of them have multiple counts, but so it was $250,000 per victim. And his lawyer came out and said that, he was sure R. Kelly could come up with the money. He just didn't know how he was going to do it because he's strapped for cash. He doesn't have any money. His finances are in a mess. People have taken advantage of him. He doesn't own the rights to his music. And the song just went on and on and on, okay? So people were concerned. R. Kelly fans was like, okay, well, let's help R. Kelly raise this money. So there were over 30 GoFundMe pages that went up immediately after Steve Greenberg stated that they didn't have the money to pay the bond, and that they would have to get the money from associates of R. Kelly's. And because it was the weekend, banks are closed, and I guess they have to verify where the funds are coming from. And I think I mentioned in my last video in the part 3 that I don't think it was so much of R. Kelly not having the money, but more so the fact that R. Kelly doesn't want Andrea to know that he has the money, because not only did he have to come up with this $100,000 money for $100,000 for the bond, he now needs to come up with another between 160 and 200,000, because like I said, the numbers keep changing. So he owes back child support to his ex-wife Andrea, and so they have set a court date for March 6th in which R. Kelly needs to pay this back child support. So he got out of jail, but he might be going back to jail if he don't come up with this money or work out some repayment arrangements with Andrea. And surprisingly, we have not heard from Miss Andrea Kelly since they announced that they were going to, actually not even probably a week before, when the Michael Avenatti guy, started going to Twitter saying that, he had turned all this evidence over to the prosecutors and that they had convened a special grand jury. Andrea seemed to have went silent. I think the last time she posted on Twitter, she was doing some photo shoot or something, and I think that was around February 6th or something. So we haven't heard from Andrea since then, which I thought was very interesting, since she was all up on the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries with a whole bunch to say. So all of these GoFundMe pages started popping up, but one page in particular was associated to a Facebook page that was titled Play R. Kelly. And so this is a fan page, not sure who's behind the page, but the person is basically saying it's sort of like to counter the Mute R. Kelly movement. And I think when I first looked at the page, they had less than 1,000 followers. I checked again right before I started the video, and they are over 2,000 followers. And so they had set up this GoFundMe page, but then the page went down. So people were donating to the page. And I think of all the GoFundMe pages that were out there, this particular one was the only one that I saw that had donations. Now, I did read a blog, an article on some unnamed blog that claimed that one of the pages had raised over $500,000. I do not believe that to be true. When I was on the GoFundMe site, all the pages were together, in line with each other. And this one that was set up by the Play R. Kelly, it was the only one that had money in it. And at the time that I saw it, it had a couple of $100s in it. But then the page was taken down. So some people were saying that the page was reported by the mute R. Kelly people. But the person behind the Facebook page said that the reason the page came down was because, when you set up GoFundMe pages, they have to verify that you are the person, with the cause, or you are connected to the person with the cause. And so, for example, I have a Facebook friend named Amanda Bishop. And so Amanda Bishop saw a story on the news where this black woman didn't have anybody to watch her kids. She was unemployed, but she had a job interview. And so she went to the job interview and she left her kids in the car. Somebody saw the kids in the car. The police were called. She was arrested. So Amanda started this GoFundMe page, raised almost, I think it was like $186,000. So part of the terms of the woman being released from jail was that she had to set up a trust fund to put the money in so that her kids, I guess, could go to college or whatever. So she decided not to do the trust fund because she was like, the reason I got into this situation is because I did not have a job. Because I got arrested, the people who I was interviewing with wouldn't hire me. And I understand the kids need to go to college, but right now I need a place to live. I need food on the table. I got to pay my light bills. So people got upset that she didn't fulfill the obligations of her terms of being released and do this trust fund, so they wanted their money back. So you can get your money back from a GoFundMe as long as the money has not paid out yet. But once people get the money, claim the money, you just kind of out of luck. And so so when the woman was released from prison, Amanda turned the money over to her, so she washed her hands of it, and she was done with it. But then people started attacking Amanda, demanding that Amanda give them their money back, saying that it was all a scheme, it was all a setup, that Amanda was working with the mother to scam people, out of their money. So the whole, GoFundMe ain't as easy as people try to make it seem, because you have to have a bank account, a verified bank account, that this money is going to go through. You got to prove that whatever you're saying is going on is really going on. Like you're sick, you've lost your job, or whatever it is. So the person behind the Play R. Kelly page said that what happened was he listed Steve Greenberg, which is R. Kelly's attorney, as the contact person who would get this money that was being raised, but Steve Greenberg never responded back to GoFundMe, and so GoFundMe couldn't verify the account, so they shut the account down. But then it was in the news yesterday, I think it was, that GoFundMe had gone in and shut all of these multiple pages down. So there, some people again are saying that Mute R. Kelly was behind all the GoFundMe pages being shut down. But I am leaning more towards the fact that these people could not verify that they were connected to R. Kelly in any way, that this money was actually going to go into a bank account associated with R. Kelly or the Stephen Greenberg, and so they were just trying to scam people, and so GoFundMe shut the pages down. Now, what I do know Mute R. Kelly was behind, and that is today, I guess, the Mute R. Kelly people were having an International Mute R. Kelly Day, where they were telling people, demand that Spotify remove R. Kelly from their playlist, contact Sirius FM, to get them to remove any R. Kelly channels or to stop people from being able to play R. Kelly music. And so the Play R. Kelly Facebook page, they had a challenge, and so this was the challenge. Okay, so they posted earlier today. Today is the international hashtag Play R. Kelly Clapback Day. So please stand in solidarity with R. Kelly and survivors like him. 1, share the hashtag Play R. Kelly 2 times today. Call local radio stations and request an R. Kelly song. Stream R. Kelly songs. Report 5 posts on Mute R. Kelly Facebook page, Twitter or Instagram. Call Sirius XM and demand they keep playing R. Kelly, and continue to shut R. Kelly's haters down. And then number 7, share this post. Let's go. So I went over to the Twitter, to my Twitter page to see, or Twitter account, to see if there was actually this hashtag Play R. Kelly thing going on. So when I went over there, it was like 11 o'clock this morning. The page, there was a hashtag Play R. Kelly. There were numerous tweets under hashtag Play R. Kelly. So then a Twitter user by the name of Kendra Denise shared a screenshot, and it says, what happened? We have determined that the account violated Twitter rules specifically for, and then it says, number 1, violating our rules against hateful conduct. And so it says, you may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. Then it had a screenshot of her post that she made under the hashtag Play R. Kelly, and it says at Legis Empress, at Sirius XM nah, and then it says hashtag Play R. Kelly, hashtag Play R. Kelly. And then it did that like maybe 10 times, and then it says you need to, and then the screenshot is cut off. So I was like, well, dang. So I go back out to Twitter to see like if people are still posting under this Play R. Kelly. And so why had Twitter deleted all of the posts under the hashtag Play R. Kelly? So despite what you feel about the whole R. Kelly situation, if you're for R. Kelly, if you're against R. Kelly, and if you like me, you don't really give a damn about R. Kelly and what this whole situation is, because like my feelings are more about like the political aspect of it. When I'm covering this, I'm just giving you guys like what's in the news, what's going on, and then I'm giving like objective opinions about what I'm reading and what I'm seeing. And so when I see that the Mute R. Kelly can go on and on and on and on, have been going on and on and on for months now. They are very hateful, very nasty. They call people names. If somebody posts and say that they support R. Kelly, they go on their Twitter pages, they attack the people. Sometimes they're like posting people addresses and personal information. And to me, that's hate. That's bullying and that's hate speech. And so I guess they went over to the hashtag Play R. Kelly and then just started reporting all of the posts that were there. And I'm just like, why does there have to be this attack? If somebody wants to support R. Kelly, that's their business. And if you want to be against what R. Kelly is doing, that's your business. And that you can exhibit that. You can say that without being mean-spirited, without being hateful. And so basically what they're doing is they are trying to silence his supporters, take away his support, which is like a mental game, which is essentially what they're accusing R. Kelly of doing. So they're saying that he's, playing mind games with these girls, that he have them under siege. He's separated them from their family and their friends, which is a tactic in domestic violence cases. So now you're exhibiting those same behaviors against people you don't even know, because they say that they support him, they're going to continue to listen to his music. So how is one any better than the other one? Is like, I'm kind of confused. And then with the whole mute R. Kelly, it's about taking away his financial resources to keep him from being able to launch a true defense against these allegations. Because if he can't pay his attorney, and the attorney even came out and was saying that they need a publicist, they need social media people, they need private investigators, and basically he doesn't know how he's going to pay for it. Right now he's being paid, but it's not at the level that he expects to be paid for a case like this. So like, is that the setup to say that soon he's going to back out of this case because he can't afford to be a part of it? And so once again, you're saying that you support victims, but then you're exhibiting tactics that abusers use against their victims. So now you're no better than the person that you're speaking out against. Back to what we were talking about. And so, and then, with the GoFundMe, people were complaining that, all this money was raised for George Zimmerman after he murdered Trayvon Martin in cold blood. People can do GoFundMe pages for cops who kill unarmed black people. They be raising hundreds of $1,000s, $1 million, but then the fans of R. Kelly are not allowed to raise money for him, which is why I'm leaning towards the side that GoFundMe simply could not verify who these accounts were and where this money was going to go, and that's why they shut all the pages down. And then Steve Greenberg or R. Kelly could have contacted GoFundMe and asked GoFundMe to take the pages down as well. Now let's move over to Valencia Love. So R. Kelly had a hearing on Monday, and I think it was to let him know what judge and what court was going to be assigned these cases against him. And so his lawyer said that they were working on coming up with the bond money, and that he would probably be out Wednesday or Thursday. They would have everything together. But then word came that R. Kelly would be out within the hour. So people were like, okay, wait a minute, where this money then came from? And so it turns out that a woman named Valencia Love posted bond for R. Kelly. So there was a little confusion going on around this situation, because there were reports that she said that she was a friend of his and that he, the money wasn't hers, that the money was his. Then it came out that the money was hers, but somebody was going to pay the money back. Then they were saying that it was a friend of his asked her. So it was like all these stories were going on about this. So Valencia Love eventually, she came out and confirmed that she was the friend who posted R. Kelly's $100,000 bail Monday, just days after the singer was arrested on these abuse charges. So the 47-year-old businesswoman defended her decision during an interview with Fox 23 News. And I think she talked to a lady named Tia Ewing. So Love told the reporter that she believes that Kelly is innocent, but would not say whether the $100,000 she paid was hers. Now, the Tia Ewing lady, she basically didn't post like a recording or anything of their conversation. It was like she might have been typing or something, like typing notes into an app or something as she was talking. So we didn't like hear Valencia Love say these things that she turned around and posted on Twitter as confirmation that she had talked to this lady. So back to the keyboard bullies. So once Tia Ewing posted this information on Twitter, people started researching the lady, pulling up all her information, where she lives. It came out that she owns several businesses. So then they started going to Yelp and on Facebook and everywhere that they could post negative comments, threatening the lady, calling her names, their normal tactics that they do. So Love claimed that R. Kelly was going to be released inevitably, and so he had planned to bond out on Thursday, but then she reached out and said, I have the money, I can get him out today so he doesn't have to stay there longer. And so she says, I just wanted to help my friend. So Love is listed as the owner of several restaurants as well as a Chicago daycare or child care center. And the name of the place is Lord and Child Christian Daycare. So considering the charges against R. Kelly, being related to underage girls, people were shocked, and they was like, I guess guilt by association, like, because he's arrested, been arrested for these allegations, then that somehow makes her be the same way, and she's going to cause harm to these kids. And people are so stupid. Like, they just be doing too much. So once her name became public, people quickly connected the dots and began ripping the daycare center for supporting a pedophile and pleading with parents to keep your baby safe and away from this place. So another parent questioned Love's judgment and stating that she is not on the side of children, especially little black children. So a woman claiming to be the owner said Love has nothing to do with the daycare and claims that her position as a secretary was years ago. And despite the current registration, because I guess the corporate filing for this daycare center is actually in Valencia Love's name, the people at the daycare center is saying that she no longer works there and that the center has been open since 2005 and is owned by somebody else. So the daycare was inundated with hostile messages since Monday. Comments poured in on their Yelp and Facebook pages decrying the caretakers for condoning and supporting a known child molester. As one angry reviewer wrote, the messages have grown so numerous that Yelp has temporarily suspended commenting on the page, but the comments have already taken a toll on the employees and the person that owns the center. So I don't know. So, like, to me, that's just bullying. I'm just going to put it out there. That's bullying people, trying to force people to believe what you believe and think like you think. And, people justify that, by saying he did this and he did that. And as I mentioned in my last video, people use words like child molester, pedophile, rape, and all these different words interchangeably when they're not. They all mean different things. And then when you take the R. Kelly case, he was not out here stalking, preying on people. Like, this was a situation where he should have known better. But these women played a role as well. For whatever reason they played the role, they put themselves in this position. And so it's not like he was, going out, you're talking about rape. It wasn't like he was snatching people out of alleys and forcing himself on these people. And so to try and correlate that this woman helping him, paying this bail, somehow makes her a supporter of any of this type of behavior is crazy. And I think I also mentioned this, or I might have put it on my Facebook page, that if one of my friends get arrested, and I think it was the one about Erykah Badu. So if one of my friends get arrested, regardless of what they get arrested for, if they are my friend, if I love them, if I care about them, I am going to support them. I'm going to be there for them, give them a shoulder to cry on. And I talked about how my cousin is nearing the end of a 32-year prison sentence for raping his girlfriend, which I don't understand, but anyway, it wasn't really, he didn't get the 32 years for raping her. He got the 32 years because here in Florida, they have a 3 strikes rule that says that if you've been convicted of a crime 3 times, they can sentence you to like 25 plus years in prison. And that's mainly what he went to jail for. So when he gets out of jail, both of his parents have passed away. You think I'm just going to leave him out there in the streets, that I'm not going to like support him and, help him get reacclimated into society? Like, that is crazy. And people are crazy if they want us to believe that this is somehow, how they would treat their family, how they would treat their friends, how they would treat people that they know. I'm not buying it. And then the other thing I want to point out about the mute Me Too people, when I was over there today, like just scrolling down, reading some of the stuff that they're putting, I couldn't help but notice that 75% of the people that are posting all this hate speech and everything are white people. They're white people. And so now that lends another layer of this thing, is that why are white people so concerned about R. Kelly? That's how you know it's a political agenda. And then this gives them the opportunity to be able to say racist, nasty, vile, hateful things about a black person and not get checked by other black people. So I'm thinking, okay, now we got the trolls for real that are coming out that feel like they have free reign to say whatever they want to say about a black person and about black people, and nobody is caring because black people are sitting there thinking, oh yeah, they're our friends, they want to help, they want to put this man away because he's hurting black girls. And I'm just like, people wake up. Like, it is far bigger. It's not a conspiracy theory, to say that, they're pulling black people down, but I think it is far bigger than that. And because it's like, if you support this foolishness today, this bullying of people today, in the R. Kelly situation, tomorrow it's going to be a whole nother situation. But you're going to be so programmed that we got to jump on this bandwagon, that you're not even going to be realizing that your freedoms and your rights are being taken away because you are systematically buying into this type of behavior and this type of thinking. And mark my word, 10 years from now, it's going to be a whole bunch of people that's going to wake up and have an aha moment and realize that they played a role into like a whole bigger issue. So just like the daycare was getting beat down, kicked around, cussed out and everything, over at the restaurant that Valencia Love owns, and it's called Love on the Blue, I believe it is, they were getting the same thing. Facebook had to shut down the recommendations and comments review section on the business page for the restaurant. But when you went down into the comments on some of her older posts, people were going into the comments area, because I don't think you could post new posts at this time. So they were leaving nasty, hateful comments, once again, calling people stupid, all out of their names and everything. And that's just the part that I just really cannot deal with. So meanwhile, as all of this is going on, Valencia Love has maintained that she was only helping a friend and is letting the legal system handle the accusations against R. Kelly. So a close friend of R. Kelly's said Tuesday that the woman who posted bond for the singer met him on a cruise 5 months ago. And I actually think they said it was back in September. And so a family member refers to it as a boat cruise around Lake Michigan. So I don't know if R. Kelly was just having dinner on the boat, if he was performing on the boat, but they were on that boat, and he met Miss Valencia. So Don Russell, who I think is R. Kelly's manager or spokesperson or something, confirmed that Valencia Love posted $100,000 to help Kelly win his freedom from Cook County Jail after he spent 3 nights in custody. So Valencia was a fan of Kelly's music when she met the 52-year-old singer on the cruise. And Russell said over the weekend that she called members of R. Kelly's inner circle and told them that she wanted to help when she saw he wasn't able to make bail. So then a woman called the Sun-Times and identified herself as Valencia Love, disputing aspects of Russell's account. In a brief interview, she declined to say how she met R. Kelly, but acknowledged paying the bond. So that was kind of stupid. I didn't even understand what that was all about, even if it was her. So although she put down 6 figures to get Kelly out of jail, Valencia Love, because now they're digging up her financial situation, and she's had some financial problems. So she filed for bankruptcy in 2015, saying that she couldn't pay a $2,700 parking that she owed in parking tickets. And she told the courts that she was a teacher at a Southside daycare where she worked for the past 7 years. So the daycare opened in 2005. So in 2015, that would have been 10 years. So do the math. So although Love had experienced financial difficulties, we learned that in 2017, her and her husband sued Chicago's Children's Medical Hospital for wrongful death because her daughter was having a heart procedure and she died. And so that may explain why she was having financial difficulties and couldn't pay the parking tickets, because they were obviously dealing with severe medical expenses due to whatever her daughter's illness is. And it doesn't say how old the daughter was, but she's 47, so I don't know if the daughter was a teenager or, how old she was. So according to, and then this is my thing about the money. At the end of the day, it's her money that she can do with whatever she wants to do with her money. And nobody has the right to tell her what she can't do with her money, or to judge her or condemn her, for wanting to do this. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So the Valencia Love's primary business seems to be this restaurant. It looks like it might be a soul food restaurant, which is the Love on the Blue. And so the relatively young restaurant opened early last year to moderate hype, earning a mention on some, I guess it's like a food blog site called Eater, after hiring a famous local chef by the name of Derek Ryland. So Valencia Love has a cousin by the name of Kenyatta Stewart, who is the general manager of the restaurant. And she basically was not in agreement with her cousin paying the bond. So Kenyatta says, if anybody knows me, they know I effing hate pedophiles. I hate them with a effing passion. But she said the word. And she also said, so no, I wouldn't have given any money or taken anyone out of there. If anything, I would have paid to keep them in. And once again, why you talking to the media? Because you about to be unemployed if you work for her in her restaurant. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that Miss Kenyatta then lost her job. So despite all the bad press, the bad reviews, having to get Facebook and Yelp and all of these review sites involved to stop the hate that was coming her way, she still has fans. And there were people that were actually coming into the comments basically saying, don't treat her this way. Just because she wanted to help him, it doesn't make her, abusive towards kids or anything like that. So it seems that R. Kelly's trying to get it together and, ready to try and build his defense team. Because as I mentioned, Steve Greenberg spoke to the media and said that, he's out of cash or he's in need of cash and that he needs better media relations. He says that, he's not trying to be on Twitter arguing with these crazy people, arguing with Michael Avenatti, who obviously ain't got nothing better to do but than to be on Twitter all day long posting. And so he says that, he wants to spend his time preparing for the case. He doesn't want to have to deal with reporters and all of that. So if y'all know anybody, any publicists trying to make a name for themselves, y'all know any social media people in the Chicago area, let them know that R. Kelly may be hiring. So Greenberg, he went on to say that, the way R. Kelly makes his money is by performing. But, now that he can't book a concert anywhere, the concerts overseas have been canceled, he doesn't have money coming in, to be able to pay out. And then he still has, to pay his rent and everything else. So he was saying, I don't think a concert is in the works right now because his business affairs are a mess. But I expect in the future he will put, be able to do some shows. And for that, he will have to get the court's permission to travel outside of Illinois. And then he says perhaps to Michigan, because there has been some talks about bringing him there to do a concert. And then, of course, once he was arrested, he had to turn over his passport as condition for his bail. And then Greenberg went on to say that lots of things were discussed, including bringing in people to straighten out his business affairs which are a mess. He keeps emphasizing that. Then he added that he told R. Kelly, you know, I'm a lawyer, not a publicist, and the two things I don't want to do is conduct a massive press conference or walk out of Cook County jail followed by a mob of reporters. And so he's basically talking about the scene when when R. Kelly bonded out and they went and picked him up, and we talked about a little bit of that in the last video, you know, where it was just like all these reporters out there, you know, they trying to get down the sidewalk and get to the parking lot where the vehicle was waiting.
Free my boy, man. So Kelly, what would you like to say to your fans?
Tell us about the last 2 days in jail.
Man, let me get to the whip, man.
Come on, sorry.
Get the fuck back. Get the fuck back. Get the fuck back. Get back. Get back. Get the fuck back. Get the fuck back.
Where will you go now, Mr. Kelly? What do you want to do now that you're out?
Get back. Hey, we love you.
And then Greenberg also said that he is not representing R. Kelly pro bono, that, you know, it's not for free, and claims that he has been paid something, but the attorney admitted it wasn't much yet. So Greenberg has consistently maintained that R. Kelly is innocent, and said that he plans to begin to mount a strong defense of R. Kelly in legal papers in the very near future. And he says that this is going to be a lot of work, and soon I will be filing discovery motions, he said, and we'll go from there. Because according to him, the prosecution haven't turned over any evidence to him, that he hasn't seen the videotapes that, you know, Michael Avenatti keep talking about these damn videotapes. He hasn't seen these videotapes, and he says he hasn't seen any of the evidence. And so they have another hearing on March 22nd, and so maybe that's when he'll get to demand the evidence that they have against him. I don't know. And if you guys remember, in the last trial, the charges were actually brought against him in 2002, but they were able to stall and delay the actual trial for 6 years because the trial didn't take place until 2008. So I don't know if that's going to be the same situation here. And then, you know, you got TMZ and bloggers that copy TMZ, you know, basically saying that, you know, the Savages are coming to, are going to New York because they got some evidence against R. Kelly that they're going to turn in to get their daughter back. They're trying to get the Chicago police to take them to wherever R. Kelly lives so that they can get their daughter. But like I said, I really don't see that happening. And then I think that even if federal charges are brought against R. Kelly, if R. Kelly goes back to jail, if he messes up the conditions of his bond, now the Azrael girl, I could see her going back home maybe, but I just don't see Jocelyn Savage going back home. She just seems to have a very strong willed spirit, and I just think that to spite them, she would figure out a way to survive. And I showed y'all a clip from Angelo Savage's video on the last video that I did. And one of the things that he said in the full video was that R. Kelly's condo in Trump Towers is actually in Azrael's name. And that, you know, if R. Kelly filed bankruptcy or something, you know, he's not going to be able to dissolve that debt. Azrael is already, you know, $100,000 in debt because R. Kelly hasn't paid the rent. And I'm sitting there saying, if he's renting the condo, if he's leasing the condo and he's not paying his rent, don't y'all think he would be done got evicted from that condo? And that's something that just drives me crazy, is how people are just allowed to come out and say any and everything that they want to, whether it's true or not. And then the media runs with it. People on social media run with it and just repeat it as though it is gospel. And then the Don Russell guy, for some reason, decided to speak to the media yesterday. And what he said, and it was just crazy. And so I'm going to play that for you so you can hear that, and then let me know if you think he should have just shut up and kept his thoughts to himself.
He's ready, to tell his side, which is important. No one's heard his side.
What's his side?
I mean, he's got to, tell everybody the truth. And you guys have been listening to one side of the story all these years, and now it's time to tell the other side.
Don, you talked to us outside court a little bit earlier today about some of the challenges he's faced in his life. You
Right.
say that this is a result of bad choices, but not pedophilia.
It's not bad choices. I mean, he's a survivor. This is a young guy. This is a guy, an older man who was, at the age of 8, molested by his sister for 8 years, and who told him she would kill him if he told his mother. I mean, so you got to realize, that's your sister. Who any of us have been through that? No. I mean, so you don't know what it feels like to go through that for 10 years of your life. It's in his book. He wrote the book, Solar Coaster. That's his book, and all this is in there.
But does that excuse any of the alleged behavior?
Absolutely not. It's alleged behavior, and that's because you're hearing from one side. But this is not a man who lets anybody in any of his events. This is not a man who I've ever seen go out and target a certain type of individual. Take my glasses off so I can see it.
You were saying he's never targeted young people.
That's not him.
But to what you were saying he was young and his sister was that age. Does he feel...
His sister was 10 years older than him.
Right, a teenager.
Right.
But I'm saying
And
perhaps it's
something
the
happened
age
to her
of his
too.
alleged victim.
Right. Say it again?
But that's about the age of his alleged
Yeah,
victim.
so what who he should be in the room with is psychiatrists, not police. And we know how the industry is. If you snort coke, they're going to put that in front of you. If you like women, they're going to put that in front of you. He doesn't card anybody coming to his events.
So the allegations are very, very young girls.
Yeah, but these are women that, you got to think about this. Rob, when you go, he dyslexic, we know about his issues with his, with not being properly educated and things of that nature. He wasn't going to that school because he was targeting somebody. He had a teacher, Lena McLean, who actually taught him how to play the piano and taught him about music and a lot of things. So he wasn't going there targeting anybody. He was going there to learn more about his craft. He's perfected his craft.
Did he have sex with 14-year-old girls?
Absolutely not. That's not what this man went into anything to do. Is he hypersexual? That's a question you ask him. But that didn't stem from him being someone that goes out to do that. What happened to him? But that didn't stem from him being someone that goes out to do that. What happened to him put him in that position. You're 8 years old. Somebody's taking advantage of you. What do you think is going to happen as a result of that?
My question is, did he have sex with 14-year-old
Absolutely
girls
not.
willingly or unwillingly?
Absolutely not. I can say that with all my heart. I lost my daughter. So for me to sit here and think that I'm going to be around somebody who's targeting young women, I'm not going to do that. For the fact of the matter is, he's not the person that these women that are out here targeting men of high stature to validate themselves. That's just not who he is.
What about the videos?
The videos exist, but you think about this. Back in those days, Mike Tyson went to jail for what? Because he can prove what happened in that room, right? So he's not taking videos because he gets something off of me. He can have sex every day if he wanted to. He's R. Kelly. So you got to think about that. The only way to prove that it was consensual, maybe it would have been to take it. He wasn't. That's not what he chose to do. That's what he was advised to do on some occasions. So he's not a bad person. He's not the monster that everybody's portraying him to be. And you got to think about the agenda of those folks that are targeting him right now. There's two sides to the equation. Everybody's focused on him, but they're not looking at the alleged survivors.
Do you think this is extortion? Don, is that what you think this is?
Do the research. You got, Ashanti McGee. He's got 7 felonies for extortion, for bribery, for theft. Why is she not in question right now? Why is she not the person that people are looking at and thinking that she may have extorted him? As some of the other cases, Johanna Pace, who's never been married, produce a marriage certificate. Why did she lie about her last name?
You brought something up about a letter or a document that came your way, asking for $50,000 or some.
Yeah, that's the latest quote unquote victim. She sent a letter to Melvin, which was his attorney in the eviction order, asking for money before she went public with her statement, and we didn't respond to that. And as a result of that, there's now a lawsuit. If you read the lawsuit, she stated a lot of different things. You guys have greater researchers than I can ever be. Do the research on the accusers. That's just really what I'm saying.
You said something about R. Kelly being scared tonight.
Wouldn't you be?
I'm asking you, how's he doing? You said
right now, we all are, human beings in our own right. You got to realize there's certain people that just, wrong is wrong, right is right. If you my friend and you just did wrong, I love you, but dog, go and take that. That's how it is in the streets of Chicago. We don't ride with people who done just done something wrong. I mean, he's not a man that's been out here doing these things. He's R. Kelly. He has a brand that a lot of people are attracted to. And, he procreates a lot of babies, and that could be a problem too. I mean, but what you have to realize is that this is not a bad guy.
How long have you been friends with Robert?
I've known, we should street perform together, so that tells you. When he was singing McDonald's on the Oddie in Washington, we was tap dancing trying to get the same spot. So, I mean, I went off and, did my own thing in business, and we came together later on in life after I heard about what he had been through.
Did he talk about being in jail? 3 nights in jail.
Yeah, he said he hadn't used the bathroom in 3 days. So he went in there and lit it up.
Wait a minute, this is...
Big's got the repository of a lot of stuff, right, boy?
Oh, boy.
I hate to be their plumber right now.
Okay,
Does
but
R.
this
Kelly,
is a very serious
does R. Kelly
question.
know who he is after all that?
Actually, he's never been no more than Robert Sylvester Kelly. R. Kelly is a brand, and a lot of people make money off that brand. He's an aged brand. He's not like Nike.
His attorney says his finances are a mess.
Well, you know what? Anybody has been targeted in as much conspiracy as he has, of course their finances are going to be a mess. This industry is, built up off of people separating artists like himself away from their intellectual property so they can control the value of their content. So Rob is a guy that loves to be in the studio all night. How could he produce such great hits, but yet be in charge of his business too? It's just not possible to be great in both areas. So he trusted the wrong people. And that's a big thing right there.
Right there to that point, you said you were around him. They always had his people around him who made him feel better. One thing that you might be concerned about is that they're going to go after his enablers, and that was their word.
Absolutely, they should, because he's not the only one. He's not at the front door. He's the guy that they come in to see. So whoever let the 14-year-old, whatever you guys are saying, in the room, why did they get in there? How did they get in there? Absolutely not. I've got my own brand. I deal with my own company. I got a tech company and a few other things. I'm not trying to bring that out. But what I will say...
And even though I know he was trying to help R. Kelly with what he was saying, it just didn't come out right and it wasn't a good look. So then there was a quick sound bite with Drake's dad, the rapper Drake. He was asked about R. Kelly, and he says that he is a good friend of R. Kelly, that he is in R. Kelly's corner, that he supports him. He didn't say whether he believed the allegations or not, but he said he's a friend and he's going to do what friends do. And then they caught Kathy Lee Gifford leaving a restaurant and for some reason felt the need to ask her about R. Kelly. And so Kathy Lee Gifford says that it's between R. Kelly and God, and that God is going to handle the situation, and whatever God's plan is for R. Kelly in this situation, then God's will is going to be done, and that it ain't her place to be out here accusing people, bashing people, or anything like that. And I think that's it for this part of the R. Kelly series. In the next part that I'm going to do, probably tomorrow, I am really going to talk about the media machine behind this whole get R. Kelly out of here thing that's going on, and just to kind of like help people understand how they are being manipulated, how some of these people that you see posting stuff on these Twitter and Facebook and other social media sites, on these news sites, they are actually paid to post this content. They are there to get an emotion out of people, just like TMZ. TMZ be putting up with some of the craziest nonsense that these stars do. Like, they still trying to, change the narrative on the Jussie Smollett story. And if you go on TMZ website and read the comments that people leave on their stories, I mean, racist, nasty, dirty, I'm just like, I don't understand how this is your platform, but you're allowing these kind of comments to be left. And so I guess they say freedom of speech, but that is like a haven for the trolls. But I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about a course that I took on blogging and tell you guys about this book that we studied during that course. And so once you realize that this is all a game, it's really not about R. Kelly or anybody else that's in the media that's in trouble or in the spotlight, the Jordan Woods girl with the Kardashians, how all of this is mental manipulation and we're all being screwed when we play into it. And so I'll talk more about that in the video that I'll do tomorrow. So guys, that's it for me. Leave your comments below, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And it is the freaking weekend, okay? So go out, do some fun, spend time with your family, and enjoy yourself. And I shall talk to you guys later.